Is this a necessary step to protect U.S. intelligence, or is President Trump using national security as a tool to target his opponent? In a calculated move by President Trump, former President Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Kamala Harris loses access to classified information. As supporters call it a step for national security, critics say it is a political revenge. But is this about protecting secrets or punishing political enemies? Well, these and many more will be detailed in today's Flash News. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Tabitha Ako. Let's begin. In a dramatic escalation of political tensions, President Donald Trump revoked the security clearances of high-profile figures, including former President
Stand with Ambazonia. Empower ABC Amba TV. We are calling on Ambazonians around the world to unite and uplift ABC Amba TV, Ambazonian Broadcasting Corporation. In this critical time of war, ensuring the station's survival is more important than ever. But what does ABC Amba TV truly represent for Ambazonia?
At the heart of Ambazonia's war of independence, ABC Amba TV stands as a beacon. Years of recolonization, annexation, and French Cameroon's oppressive occupation of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia have led to our exclusion. Our identity was hidden, our history distorted, our sovereignty denied. Queen of England is aware that the British Southern Cameroons were never a colony under France.
Since its inception in 2018, ABC Amba TV has been our lifeline.
Months of diplomacy have failed to resolve the crisis as fear grows over an imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Our work in the dark is our chance to tell our stories to the world, to give voice to the voiceless, and broadcast the truth of our struggle.
We are serious about executing this revolution.
It has become a vital arm of our government in wartime, making diplomacy achievable and showcasing our untold stories.
ABC Amba, you guys know how important ABC is for this, our quest for international recognition.
Your donations can make a world of difference. Every bit of support helps keep our stories alive, our presence known, and our fight in the global conversation.
The moment they notice that we are no longer on air, they think that, oh, maybe La Republic have succeeded. This is about Amazonia. One thing we must always remember.
Where would we be without ABC Amba TV? Let's ensure we never have to find out.
A revolution is a temporary state of insanity, to bring about sanity.
Mobilize, donate, stand with Ambazonia. Donate to ABC Amba TV.
Together, let's write the next chapter of our history.
It is better to light the candle than to curse the dark.
Support ABC Amba TV campaign. Ambazonia Independence, voice for the voiceless. Mobilize for change.
In a dramatic escalation of political tensions, President Donald Trump revoked the security clearances of high-profile figures, including former President Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Liz Cheney, and several others. The White House cited a national interest as the reason for the decision, stating that these individuals should no longer have access to classified information. However, it's been argued that this move is less about security and more about punishing political rivals. But is this move really what it is? The White House released a memo on Friday listing Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Cheney, Kamala Harris, Adam Kinzinger, Fiona Hill, Alexander Vindman, Joseph R. Biden Jr., and many others, and members of Biden's family as individuals whose security clearances were revoked. Additionally, the memo stated that they will no longer have unescorted access to secure U.S. government facilities. Well, earlier this month, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard announced a similar crackdown, revoking the clearances of individuals involved in signing the now infamous Hunter Biden disinformation letter. Gabbard also confirmed that former President Biden would no longer receive the president's daily brief, a privilege traditionally extended to former commanders-in-chief. Well, this move drew political firestorm and mixed reactions. The reaction from those affected was swift. Zaid and Isen mocked the move, claiming it was the third time their clearances had been revoked. Adam Kinzinger, a vocal Trump critic, dismissed the decision in a video, sarcastically pointing out that he had retired from the military over a year ago and no longer had clearance to begin with. However, Trump's memo comes just days after another controversial decision stripping Hunter and Ashley Biden of their Secret Service protection. Trump defended the move, arguing that taxpayer money was being wasted on unnecessary security details. Hunter Biden has had Secret Service protection for an extended period of time, all paid for by the United States taxpayer. There are as many as 18 people on this detail. Trump wrote on Truth Social, effective immediately, Hunter Biden will no longer receive Secret Service protection. Likewise, Ashley Biden, who has 13 agents and will be taken off the list. Well, while federal law mandates lifelong Secret Service protection for former presidents and their spouses, their children lose protection upon leaving office unless an extension is granted. Trump's decision to revoke Biden's children's protection mirrors a move Biden made before leaving office, extending protection to his own family. This latest move raises a serious legal and ethical question. Is President Trump setting a new precedent where incoming presidents can revoke security clearances and government privileges of their predecessors? Or is this simply a strategic effort to prevent former officials from accessing sensitive information that could be used against his administration? While President Trump supporters argue that these individuals should never have retained security access in the first place, critics warn that this could erode democratic norms and weaponize national security for political gain. Well, as the country gears up for another heated election, this battle over who gets access to classified intelligence may just be another beginning of a larger fight. Well, moving on, here is a battle against President Trump's influence in Canada. In a stunning political maneuver, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has called a snap election for April 30th, arguing that his country faces an existential threat from U.S. President Donald Trump. Carney, who took office just weeks ago, claims that President Trump wants to break us so America can own us. Citing rising trade tensions and U.S. economic pressure. Is this election truly about defending Canada's sovereignty, or is Carney using Trump as a political scapegoat to secure power? Let's take a look at this video.
We are facing the most significant crisis of our lifetimes because of President Trump's unjustified trade actions and his threats to our sovereignty. Our response must be to build a strong economy and a more secure Canada. President Trump claims that Canada isn't a real country. He wants to break us so America can own us. We will not let that happen.
Carney right there, his announcement marks a sharp shift in Canada-US relations, which have worsened since President Trump imposed tariffs on steel, aluminium, and other key Canadian exports. While Carney initially expressed willingness to cooperate with Trump, his latest comments suggest a more confrontational stance. He emphasized that building a strong economy and ensuring a secure Canada must be the priority in light of Trump's unjustified trade actions and threats to our sovereignty. Carney, who is a former central banker with no prior political experiences, has framed his leadership as the best chance to counter Trump's economic aggression. His Liberal Party, which was trailing the opposition Conservatives earlier this year, has seen a surge in support since January, largely fueled by fears over Trump's policies. Polls indicate that Trump's tariffs and economic threats are now the top concern for Canadians, raising questions about whether Carney is leveraging anti-Trump sentiment to secure a stronger mandate. Well, his first major policy proposal, cutting income taxes for the lowest brackets, aims to bolster his economic credentials. But will this be enough to convince voters that he has a real plan beyond simply opposing President Trump? Meanwhile, Conservative leader Paul Livre, a seasoned politician fluent in French, is positioning himself as a strong alternative to Carney. He argues that Canada needs to focus on economic growth, tax cuts, and resource development rather than blaming President Trump for its problems. Paul Livre has also criticized Carney's financial transparency, particularly over the handling of his assets in a blind trust, an issue that could haunt Carney as the campaign progresses. Moving on, Carney's lack of political experience was evident in a recent press conference in Quebec, where he misunderstood a question in French and responded in English, a misstep that could cost him votes in the predominantly French-speaking province. The Conservatives are hoping Carney stumbles further during his first election campaign, giving them a chance to reclaim momentum. With polls showing a tight race, the Liberals at 42% and the Conservatives at 37%, this election is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent Canadian history. Some experts believe Carney's inexperience may not hurt him as much as expected, given the overwhelming focus on Trump's economic aggression. Others warn that if Carney cannot articulate a clear vision beyond opposing Trump, he risks being seen as one-issue candidate. Ultimately, will Canadians rally behind Carney's call to resist Trump, or will they turn to a leader with more political experience to navigate the country through economic turmoil? The answer could define Canada's future and its relationship with the United States for years to come. Well, that's that for Canada. Moving over to a new development. Turkey is in turmoil. For the fifth consecutive night, hundreds of thousands of protesters flooded the streets of Istanbul, defying a government ban on public gatherings to demand the release of Ekrem İmamoğlu, the city's mayor and the main rival of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Imam Oglu was arrested on corruption charges and jailed pending trial on Sunday, fueling widespread anger and raising concerns about the state of democracy in Turkey. Are these protests the beginning of a major political crisis for Erdogan, or will his government manage to contain the unrest before it spirals out of control? Let's take a look at this video of protesters in Turkey. Right there on your screen, police responded with pepper spray, rubber bullets, and water cannons as tensions escalated, while masked demonstrators continue their defiant stand against what they see as an authoritarian power grab. Many fear that Imam Oglu's arrest is politically motivated, designed to eliminate him from the 2028 presidential race. The government, however, denies these accusations, insisting that the courts are acting independently. Well, Imam Oglu, a rising star in Turkish politics, was charged with running a criminal organization, accepting bribes, extortion, and bid rigging. While a request to charge him with terror-related offenses was denied, his transfer to Silivri prison, known for housing high-profile political prisoners, has only deepened suspicions that this is a calculated move to weaken the opposition. Is Erdogan using the courts to remove his strongest challenger, or is Imam Oglu truly guilty of corruption? Still on, the opposition Republican People's Party, which is backing Imam Oglu as its 2028 presidential candidate, has mobilized millions of supporters and protests in an unprecedented show of solidarity. Over 13 million non-members signed symbolic solidarity ballots, signaling widespread frustration with the government. Imam Oglu himself, from behind bars, responded defiantly, "Enough is enough. The nation will deliver a slap to this administration it will never forget." On the other side, the Erdogan's Justice and Development Party has ruled Turkey since 2003, steadily tightening control over the judiciary, media, and security forces. While he remains popular among conservative and nationalist voters, the protest is the largest since the 2013 Gezi Park demonstrations, suggests growing discontent, particularly in urban centers. Meanwhile, international observers are watching closely. The European Union and human rights organizations have criticized Turkey's declining press freedoms and judicial independence, and Imam Oglu's detention is likely to worsen already tense relations with the West. Coming over to the climax of this report, with more than 300 people arrested and protests spreading to Ankara and Izmir, the situation in Turkey remains highly volatile. Will Erdogan's government succeed in silencing dissent, or is Turkey heading toward an even more bigger political showdown in the months ahead? Well, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's edition of Flash News. Remember, I'll be bringing you recent happenings from the home front on Undaunted at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. Until then, do have a pleasant day and stay safe.